Ladies, listen closely. There is one move, one powerful shift that will make him beg to marry you, but it's not what you think. It's not playing games. It's not changing who you are. It's not following some outdated rule book of do this and he'll chase you. It's about something far more powerful, energy. The human brain is wired to respond to frequency. Attraction is not about what you say, it's about what you emit. And the moment you shift your internal state, when you stop seeking and start owning, everything changes. Because men, like all human beings, are drawn to what they can't control but deeply desire. Shift your energy, shift his perception. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. What was their secret? It wasn't just their looks or their words, it was their presence. The moment you walk into a room fully anchored in your power without needing validation, you become unforgettable. And when a man senses that, when he realizes you're a woman who doesn't need him but chooses him, his entire biological system kicks into overdrive. Break the pattern, become the one he can't forget. Most relationships follow predictable cycles. We fall into habits, patterns, and expectations, but the second you break the pattern, when you introduce something unexpected, when you elevate the way you engage, his brain takes notice. He starts associating you with excitement, mystery, and depth, and the male mind is designed to chase what feels like an adventure. Create emotional imprints, the secret to lasting desire. People don't remember words, they remember how you made them feel. When you create emotional experiences, when you inspire him, challenge him, make him feel truly seen, his subconscious mind starts attaching his deepest emotions to you. And once that happens, you become irreplaceable. The paradox of desire. Why detachment works. Here's the ultimate paradox. The less you need a man, the more he needs you. When you live a life so full, so rich, so magnetic that you no longer operate from lack, but from abundance, his instincts kick in. He realizes he has two choices: step up or lose you. And this is where everything shifts. The one move from seeking to owning. The one move that makes a man beg to marry you isn't about convincing him. It's about becoming the woman he can't afford to lose. You are the prize. You are the experience. You are the moment. And the second you stop proving that and simply become it, he will do everything in his power to claim you. Not because you asked, not because you played a game, but because you finally stepped into the truth of who you really are. And that, my friends, is the ultimate power. The world operates on frequency, and whether you realize it or not, you are constantly broadcasting a signal. It's not the words you say or the things you do that make the biggest impact, it's the energy you carry. People, especially men, respond to the unspoken. They don't just hear you, they feel you. When you shift your energy, you shift the way he perceives you. Most people move through relationships unconsciously, reacting to circumstances, seeking validation, or trying to control outcomes. But the moment you step into full awareness of your own worth, everything changes. A woman who understands her power. Imagine walking into a room fully owning who you are, without seeking approval, without over-explaining yourself, without trying to be anything other than you. The way you carry yourself, the way you move, the way you exude confidence, without a trace of desperation. This is what shifts perception. Men instinctively recognize when a woman operates from abundance rather than need. The moment you stop trying to be enough for someone and start realizing that you already are, he will feel the difference. The human brain is wired to notice contrast. When you shift your energy from seeking to being, you disrupt the pattern of every woman he has met before. The ones who are trying to impress him, the ones waiting for his validation, the ones subtly proving their worth. But you You move differently. You don't convince, you don't plead, you don't overgive or over-explain. You simply stand in the certainty that any man would be lucky to experience your presence. And when you reach that state, when you no longer need him to see your value, something powerful happens. He starts seeing you through a different lens. He starts wondering what makes you so magnetic, why you seem so at peace within yourself, why he suddenly feels a deep pull toward you that he can't quite explain. That's the shift, and once you make it, his perception of you will never be the same again. Most relationships fall into patterns, predictable, comfortable, and often unconscious cycles that dictate how two people interact. From the moment you meet, certain dynamics begin to form, and over time these dynamics become habits. Maybe you text first, maybe you're always available, maybe you unknowingly anticipate his needs before he even has to ask. And while none of these things are inherently bad, they create a sense of predictability, and predictability, while comforting, is not what triggers deep emotional investment. The human brain thrives on novelty. It's wired to seek excitement, challenge, and change. When something becomes too familiar, too expected, it begins to blend into the background. This is why people crave adventure, why we are drawn to the unexpected, and why relationships that lack an element of surprise often fizzle out. If you want a man to see you as unforgettable, irreplaceable, and deeply compelling, you must break the cycle of predictability. Most women operate on autopilot in relationships, following a script they don't even realize they're acting out. They say yes too quickly, they explain themselves too much, they wait for his next move instead of setting the tone. But the moment you change the script, when you become the woman who operates differently, you trigger a shift in his perception. Suddenly, he doesn't know what to expect from you. He can't predict your every response. He can't place you into the same category as every other woman he's met before. And that's exactly what makes you stand out. Maybe you stop answering texts immediately and start prioritizing your own schedule. Maybe you introduce something new, an unexpected date idea, a thought-provoking conversation, a moment of deep vulnerability that makes him see you in a way he never has before. Maybe you show him a side of yourself he didn't know existed, a depth he didn't realize he was craving. Whatever it is, the goal is to create moments that disrupt the usual flow, making every interaction with you feel like an experience rather than a routine. The second you shift out of predictability, you create intrigue, and intrigue is what makes a man invest, because now you are no longer just an option, now you are a mystery he wants to solve, a woman he wants to understand, an experience he never wants to lose. People don't remember words, they don't remember actions in isolation. What they remember, what stays imprinted in their mind and body, is how you made them feel. Every significant moment in a person's life is tied to an emotion. The first time they felt deeply loved, the first time they experienced true excitement, the first time they felt an unexplainable pull towards someone. Emotion is what creates memories, and memories are what shape attachment. If you want a man to feel a connection so deep that he can't imagine his life without you, you must create emotional imprints that stay with him long after you're gone. This is not about playing games, it's about understanding how the brain works. The human mind attaches meaning to moments that evoke strong emotions, whether joy, laughter, passion, curiosity, or even a sense of challenge. When a man experiences a series of emotionally charged moments with you, his subconscious starts associating you with something greater than just romance. It associates you with a feeling he doesn't want to live without. Think about the moments in your own life that shaped you, the times when someone made you feel seen in a way no one else did, the times when a simple conversation opened up a new way of thinking, the times when an experience felt so unique that it left a permanent mark on your heart. That's what you want to create. Not just casual interactions, but moments that stick. Maybe it's the way you challenge him to think differently, introducing him to ideas that expand his mind. Maybe it's the way you create a safe space where he feels like he can let his guard down without judgment. Maybe it's the laughter you share over something silly and unfiltered, making him feel light and free in your presence. Or maybe it's the way you shift from playful to deeply present in an instant, making him feel something intense that he didn't expect. The key is variety and depth. If every interaction with you feels the same, pleasant, predictable, surface level, there's no emotional imprint being made. But if one moment with you is filled with lighthearted teasing, and the next is a deep, soul-stirring conversation, he won't just be attracted to you, he'll feel moved by you. And when a man feels moved, he remembers. When you create experiences that stir something inside him, moments that make him feel seen, challenged, inspired, and fully alive, his subconscious mind will attach those feelings to you. He won't just want to be with you, he'll feel a pull toward you that he can't rationalize. He'll crave the depth, the excitement, the connection that only you seem to provide. And that's when he realizes he doesn't just want you in his life, he needs you there. Attraction is a paradox. The more you try to hold on, the more something seems to slip through your fingers. The more you chase, the more it retreats. And the moment you stop seeking, stop needing, and step fully into your own power, that's when the world starts bending in your favor. Detachment is not about being cold or uninterested. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to grip onto something that isn't flowing naturally toward you. Men, like all human beings, are wired to value what they must earn. When something is given too easily, when attention, energy, and effort are poured into them without requiring anything in return, it loses its perceived value. But the second that dynamic shifts, when you no longer operate from a place of needing a response, a label, or a promise to feel secure, everything changes. You become the one thing the human mind is programmed to pursue. Something rare, something not easily obtained, something that carries an air of exclusivity. This doesn't mean you play games. It doesn't mean you manipulate, withdraw affection, or pretend to be indifferent when you're not. True detachment is not an act, it's a state of being. It's the deep, unshakable knowing that whether this man chooses you or not, you are whole. That his presence is a beautiful addition to your life, but not the source of your happiness. And when you truly embody that, he feels it. Detachment creates space for him to miss you, to wonder what you're thinking, to crave your presence instead of just expecting it. When you're no longer readily available at his convenience, when you no longer revolve your world around his, he starts to notice, he starts to question why he suddenly feels uneasy, why he's thinking about you more, why he's replaying moments in his mind that he may have previously taken for granted. It's in that space that desire grows, because now he isn't just experiencing you, he's choosing to experience you. He's making an effort, stepping forward, trying to figure out how to secure something he can no longer take for granted. The ultimate power move is not to chase, convince, or prove. It's to embody the energy of a woman who is already complete, a woman who radiates joy whether she's alone or with someone, a woman whose absence is felt because her presence is something special, not something freely given to anyone who asks. The moment you reach this state, when you no longer seek validation from a man, when your happiness is not dependent on his response, when you truly understand that you are the prize, he will feel the shift, he will sense the difference, and that's when he will do everything in his power to make sure he doesn't lose you, because now you are no longer just someone he likes. You are someone he fears losing. And that is the ultimate attraction. The human brain is a complex web of neural pathways, constantly forming associations and patterns based on experiences and emotions. Whether we realize it or not, our subconscious mind is always at work, dictating what we are drawn to, what we value, and what we feel emotionally connected to. This is why some people become deeply embedded in our thoughts, while others fade into the background. If you want a man to feel a pull toward you so strong that he sees you as essential rather than just desirable, you must tap into the way his subconscious mind operates. Attraction and commitment are not purely logical choices. They are deeply psychological and neurological processes. A man doesn't fall for a woman simply because she is beautiful or because she treats him well. He falls for her because his mind starts wiring her into his emotional world. He starts associating her with pleasure, excitement, safety, and inspiration. His brain begins to link her presence with a specific feeling he craves. And once that connection is made, he doesn't just want her, he needs her. This rewiring doesn't happen through words alone. It happens through experience. Every interaction, every conversation, every moment shared is shaping the way his mind perceives you. If you bring unpredictability, depth, and a range of emotions into his world, his brain starts creating neural imprints that attach you to excitement, warmth, and fulfillment. On the other hand, if every interaction follows the same script, predictable, routine, lacking depth, his subconscious registers it as ordinary, and ordinary does not create obsession. Think about the way certain songs, scents, or places trigger powerful memories. That's because the subconscious holds on to experiences tied to emotions. This is why nostalgia is so powerful. It brings back feelings we once had, making us long for certain moments, even if we don't fully understand why. You want to become the person whose presence triggers an emotional reaction in him. The person who, without even trying, makes him feel something deeper than he does with anyone else. This is done through contrast, when you mix playfulness with depth, passion with peace, challenge with softness. His brain is constantly stimulated in different ways. He can't predict you, so he stays engaged. He starts associating you with intrigue, excitement, and fulfillment. You become someone who makes him feel alive, and that feeling becomes addictive. But here's where most women go wrong. They try to convince a man to see their value through effort alone. They overgive, over-explain, or try to prove their worth. But the subconscious mind doesn't respond to effort. It responds to experience. If he experiences you as someone who enriches his world in a way no one else does, his brain will do the rest. This is why detachment is so powerful. When a man feels that he has to work for your time and attention, his brain registers you as valuable. When you are selective with your energy, engaging in a way that is meaningful rather than excessive, his subconscious starts seeing you as a rare and special presence in his life. The moment his mind starts linking you to deep, irreplaceable emotions, he will find himself thinking about you when you're not there. He'll wonder what you're doing, replay conversations in his mind, and feel a subconscious need to be around you. And once a man's brain starts making those connections, commitment isn't a question, it's a natural outcome. Because at that point, losing you would mean losing something that his subconscious has already labeled as essential to his happiness. There's a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that the love, attention, and commitment she has been seeking was never something she had to chase, it was something she had to own. This shift is the difference between a woman who hopes a man will choose her and a woman who knows she is the only choice. The moment you stop operating from a place of seeking approval, validation, or love from a man, and instead step fully into your own worth, you become the kind of woman who doesn't just attract commitment, she commands it. Seeking is an energy of lack. It sends the message, consciously or subconsciously, that you believe something is missing from your life, and that a relationship, a title, or a man's devotion will complete you. But here's the truth. The second you believe you need someone to choose you, you place your power in their hands. You make their actions, their responses, and their commitment the measure of your worth. And in doing so, you unknowingly diminish your own value in their eyes. Owning, on the other hand, is an energy of abundance. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are already complete, already whole, and that any man who enters your life is a witness to your greatness, not the source of it. A woman who owns her value does not seek validation, she expects alignment. She does not over-explain, she simply exists in her truth, knowing that the right man will recognize it without persuasion. The shift from seeking to owning is subtle, but its impact is profound. It's in the way you carry yourself, not from a place of trying to impress, but from a deep inner knowing that you are the experience a man will never forget. It's in the way you engage, not desperately or anxiously, but with certainty, because you know that the right man will feel privileged to have access to you. It's in the way you set standards, not as ultimatums, but as a natural extension of your self-worth, because you refuse to accept anything less than what you deserve. This shift doesn't just change the way you feel, it changes the way a man perceives you. When you stop trying to get him to commit and instead fully embody the energy of a woman who is already committed to herself, he feels the difference. He no longer sees you as someone who is waiting to be chosen. He sees you as someone he has to win over. The dynamic changes because now he is the one who fears losing you, not the other way around. And this is the one move that will make him beg to marry you, not because you manipulated him, not because you played games, but because you became the kind of woman who is so deeply in her power that he can't afford to let you go. The one move, he will beg to marry you. Ladies, there is one undeniable truth about relationships, attraction, and commitment. The energy you bring determines the way you are perceived. If you've been chasing, proving, or waiting for a man to see your worth, you have been playing the game from the wrong angle. The shift that changes everything is the moment you move from seeking love to owning your worth. Most women have been conditioned to believe that if they are loving enough, giving enough, understanding enough, then a man will recognize their value and commit. But the reality? Men don't commit because they're convinced. They commit because they are compelled. They don't fall deeply in love because of logic. They fall because of emotion. And the deepest, most unshakable emotion a man can feel toward a woman is the fear of losing her. Not because she threatens to leave, but because he knows that a woman like her will not wait forever. When you shift your energy, you shift his perception. When you break the predictable patterns of neediness and overgiving, you create intrigue. When you create emotional imprints, he no longer just sees you, he feels you, even when you're not there. When you detach, you become the rare woman he knows he has to fight for. And when you rewire his subconscious mind through experience rather than effort, his desire to commit to you becomes a natural, inevitable response. But the most powerful move of all, the one that makes a man beg to make you his forever, you stop seeking and start owning. You stop looking to a man to complete you because you already know you are whole. You stop trying to prove your value and instead embody it so deeply that he has no choice but to recognize it. You become the prize, not because you say it, but because you live it. And when a man realizes that he is in the presence of a woman who is irreplaceable, when he feels that losing her would mean losing something rare and extraordinary, that's when he steps forward. Not because he is being asked to, but because his heart, his mind, and his very being need to claim her before someone else does. That is the shift. That is the move. That is the energy of a woman who is never waiting to be chosen, because she has already chosen herself.